Hello, it's Auntie Shelley coming to you from Connecticut today. A lot of people are recently asking me about the refugee resettlement. How does that work? What do they have set up for us there? And what is happening? So, I'm going to talk about the money that's allocated for your resettlement, and it is per refugee. It's very confusing because at first it was $1,650. Uh, but it seems to have been bumped up to about $2,000, perhaps $2,450 per refugee for 3 months. And thank goodness it was bumped up. Now, there are some agencies who we know from experience are not paying out on out migration. They're not paying out this full sum. They are keeping behind $400 per refugee as flex funds. And this was never truly explained to me what flex funds is. It was told by one of the agents, well, we're keeping this for the next refugees. And it doesn't seem quite right to me, but that's what I was told. And I did discuss this topic with one of the heads of ORR. And she said, for a truly needy refugee family, it's not the right thing to do for them to hold back some of this money. And I wouldn't worry about this. Now the amount has gone up. So it's at least $2,000 per refugee. Now, as you can imagine, the larger your family is that is living together, the better you will make out on this start in the USA. For singles and couples, the money can be very hard to stretch out because this amount must pay for the hotel when you arrive, and then for the security deposit and first month's rent, at least, for the apartment that you're put in. It must also pay for the furnishings, the groceries to start out in your apartment, and things like pots and pans. Now, the biggest question is, well, what do we get to start out when we land there? What is in writing is this. You are given by, I've seen this in writing on many, many documents, you are given a safe, sanitary apartment that is big enough to hold your family. And that is just all across the board. But some people are put in motels, hotels, until a place is found. At the beginning, we were hearing people were taken to different places and saying, well, do you want to live here? And 2 or 3 places, and they had a choice. We're not hearing that so much anymore. And sometimes, maybe a quarter of the time, a third of the time, they've got your apartment set up for you already with the beds and the blankets and towels or whatever, enough dishes and other things for you to use. So they've already got your place picked out. You're given no choice and you're put in there. I hope it's safe, sanitary, and big enough for your family. So there are written guidelines about how refugees are handled. And then there is reality about what happens in some of these cases. And that is not what happens. Not quite safe neighborhoods to live in. They're given no choice. And I don't want to get into this too much, But when you arrive and are picked up by your agency at the airport and brought to the area and either put in a hotel or perhaps put right into an apartment that is set up for you with the beds and these things. Um, Sometimes they're signing the lease for you. You're not given a choice to sign the lease. This doesn't seem quite right, does it? Because you're given no choice. Uh, Reality is that sometimes it's not working so well, and so you're given a meal when you arrive and taken to your hotel or to your new apartment. And basically, what's written is that you are provided with either money on a card for groceries and meals, and you're put in an extended stay hotel where you can do some cooking, or you're put right in an apartment and you're provided with money or a cash right away, and sometimes cards with money on the card to buy groceries. You're supposed to be uh, told about the bus system and given a bus card. That doesn't always happen because people need to get out to the stores and things and do those things. Uh, then you are seen the next day to arrange for all your documents and benefits. And this is not always happening either. Uh, but in these nice cases where it's working just fine, this is the way it works out. One of the gentlemen that I've been speaking to for a few months arrived, I think, a month ago in North Carolina, and he's being helped beautifully. And he showed me his apartment, and it's very nice. He's provided everything he needs to get started. And they got started on getting his social. And the EAD, it seems, is applied for by the agency who has accepted you before you even fly over, even or when you're on your way. It's applied for because it takes time, and then it comes to their office. So this is basically what should happen. You're given the bare minimum things to start out, and then to get on your feet and look around for employment. Now they're giving you language in these guidelines that they have job placement services, but you must be assertive when it comes to looking around. You must immediately look around. A lot of people, most people do get phones from the agency that don't really cost much or don't cost anything. And you must get right on that job search and get a jump on it, um, because, time flies. And with the way rents have gone up in the past, it's going to take a while uh, to get that job, to get that social security number. And you may be shorted on monies to pay the rent if the agency's not getting this extra funding. There's preferred communities funding. It's they call it that. It's a matching grant, but that's to help pay for your housing. And the agency must apply for it, and it does take time. So it's very important to get up on your feet and look around at what's available for you to work. Uh, and these jobs with higher levels of education, they take longer to get into. I believe you should probably look at taking a lower status type of job for a bit. And I think it's good to take a job in a restaurant or a coffee shop or a store just to get out into society and get used to being in America. And it might not be so lonely if you've got a schedule and you're around other people. That's just my thought. I'm not going to really talk about out-migration today. I'm just wanting to tell you what to expect, what the government means to give you when you arrive here. They mean to give you the tools you need, and it's written down. Give you every bare necessity you need to live at this little place and get going. And we will discuss out-migration a little bit later, closer to the 10th, when I think more people will fly out. All right. Have a good night.